Chef, we did get a question as we're giving it another minute here. Polly wants to know if she should be marinating her shrimp in lime juice now.
Absolutely. If you've got your shrimp peeled, then you can marinate them in the lime juice or the lemon juice. I have actually never done that before, so I thought that was kind of that was interesting. We don't really have time to let it sit for 20 minutes, so I will not be marinating mine because I also like to squirt the lemon on before I eat it. That's one of our tricks, and that's kind of classic. There's so many different recipes out there for shrimp Creole. I was looking at a lot of them last night, and even a friend of my father sent me one from New Orleans that was even different than all of the rest. I was like, oh, wow. Okay. So mine's just, I kind of go on automatic pilot because this is a family dish that we've been making in my family because they are from New Orleans forever.
I love it. Well, welcome everybody to the Simple Cooking with Heart kitchen. We are very excited to be making shrimp Creole today. Before we get started, I just would like to introduce Contella Mills from Care First and Michelle Johnson. Thank you so much for joining us. Contella, would you like to say a few words?
Sure, absolutely. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy lunchtime. As we here at Care First are celebrating Black History Month, and we enjoy this partnership with the American Heart Association, as we have last year cooked with the American Heart Association. And we would love to welcome you all to this second opportunity to cook alongside with the American Heart Association of Baltimore. And we are so excited about this dish as it is also Mardi Gras that is kicking off this week. And this Creole dish really, from looking at the history of the dish, West Indies, Caribbean islands, and also African Americans that live in that area that affiliate themselves with being West Indian, they definitely enjoy cooking this dish. So those that have migrated, of course, into the New Orleans area love cooking this dish. So we are so excited. We have Michelle Johnson, who is also a co-chair for the Black Professional Network Wellness Committee that's here welcoming you all as well. And we also have Vanessa Gordon-Rios. So I'll give Michelle an opportunity to say hi really quickly if she wants to say hi. I think you might still be muted, Michelle.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon, everybody. I was on the call a little earlier and alerted everyone that I'm very sick today, but I was so excited about this recipe. I struggled to get on camera, but Contella put a lot of work into this, and we're happy to support, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy everything. So thanks for joining us today, and thank you to everyone.
Well, thank you, Care First and Care First employees for joining us. And thank you to all our Simple Cooking with Heart kitchen friends who are joining us today as well. It is my true pleasure to introduce our executive chef, Chef Stephanie Rose, or how we love to call her Chefany, to cook for us shrimp Creole. Take it away, Chef.
Thank you so much, Katie. And thank you all for being here. And thank you for letting me be here and bringing you this fantastic recipe, shrimp Creole, that is one that really is close to my heart because my family is from New Orleans, and actually we do have some Creole blood. So it's very exciting. And there's I've been making this for many years, so I kind of go on automatic pilot. And it's, when there's a Creole dish, you got to start with your holy trinity, right? Celery, peppers, and onions. So hopefully you have your hands washed. That's a very important aspect, and we are going to be getting them dirty because we are dealing with shrimp. Now, I know the recipe said You can marinate your shrimp. So if you have them already peeled, that's wonderful. Go ahead and squirt some lemon on it. Actually, I could do that. I actually do have some peeled already. Where are they? Here we go. So maybe I will just do that with you. I've never tried it with lime, so why not? I cheated and I did peel some last night. And these are absolutely gorgeous. Of course, I had to get Gulf shrimp, right? We're going south. So let's just get your lime or your lemon, whichever one you prefer. Now, if you are using a lime, remember you have to massage it and roll it. You need a hard surface. So you really want to get all those juices moving around, loosening up in the membrane. So this helps a lot. Just squish it, squish it. Squish it, squish it, squish it. I actually had some lemon juice. And if you have one in the fridge, but I didn't get it out. If you have one of these bad boys, they are fantastic. So I'm actually going to use mine. I'm going to cut my lime in half. But first, let me just make sure that everybody's holding their knife the best way possible, where you have the most control and are super safe. So we call it the pinching the blade technique. And you can see on my knife, I have a nice indentation here at the end towards the handle. So I put my thumb there, and then I take my other finger, my pointer finger, to the other side, so I straddled it, and just pinch it. My other fingers go around the handle, and it gives me good control. Okay. So now I'm just going to cut it in half. I even sharpened that this morning. It's not very sharp. I think I got to take a stone to it. So when I was doing this the wrong way and somebody showed me, put it in and squeeze. So I guess you're just going to let it sit in here and get some of that flavor. Now you probably would not want to do it overnight, because the lemon, the acid, would tend to kind of cook it. So I'm going to go ahead and just do the whole lemon. That's usually about 2 tablespoons. And we're going to dump out the lime juice anyway before we toss it into our beautiful, savory, spicy tomato concoction that we're going to get started on right now, because I really wanted to get it cooking. So let's get that onion. I'm kind of going to do the dump technique. So I'm going to chop it up and dump it in the pot. So I'm going to turn that on nice. Just put it on low to start with. Get it warm. I'm going to put in my margarine. If you don't want to use margarine, go ahead and use a nice olive oil or canola oil or corn oil. Okay, so I'm going to take my onion. I want it diced finely. So don't cut off both the ends yet. Just cut off the little tail-like one first, because it helps to stabilize it. Anything that's circular. Now I have a little secret pot back here that I've turned on, and I have all of my scraps from what I'm cutting up are going to go into that pot. And that pot also holds I'll show this to you real quick. That has my shrimp shells in it. Now this is the elixir. And I know in our recipe, it says add water maybe at the end, but it also says to add wine. But I'm not going to add wine this time. Actually, I don't ever add wine. So I thought that was a little bizarre. But if you want to add wine, go for it. I'm going to add the elixir. And in this elixir with the shrimp shells, you can cook that. It'll make your whole house smell like shrimp. But I have bay leaves, fresh, dry, whatever you've got. 1, 2. I love bay leaves. I actually blanched and peeled a tomato. So I've got tomato skins in there. And I have, I'm going to put some celery seed, and said it asked for ground thyme in this book that's been handed down in my family. So ground thyme and celery seeds. So I've got the thyme in here. I'm just going to grind it up a little bit. So these are the secret tricks. You see, you have to watch. You have to join our cooking classes to learn these things. And if you don't have that, don't worry about it. I'm also going to put in a little cayenne pepper because I like it spicy. Always add a little Tabasco at the end, but make sure you go easy on that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So I've got the onion. I had an old onion in the fridge. I threw that in, and the thyme, the celery seed. I've got the scraps from the tomato. So that is a secret elixir, and that's going to make this. It's going to really boost up the flavor of this dish. So let's get going on our onion. Okay, now I've got it stable. I'm going to cut it in half. And I'm going to take the peel off if I can. It's a medium onion. Take all that skin off. And I put the skin in my elixir too. I've read, some articles say it makes it bitter, but I have been doing this forever and I have never had a bitter shrimp stock. I always, when I can, with whatever I have, I will make a stock. It's just, saves a lot of money. And this way I also know that, I know it doesn't have sodium in it because I don't put any sodium, any salt in it. So let's get all that paper and just jam it in and get that going. It can cook, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, as long as you can, just to get some of those flavors in the water. Okay. Now to get a nice dice on the first go around, let's hold on to your onion. Try to have your other hand with the knuckles right here against the knife and your, fingers turned under. And I'm not going to cut all the way through to the root end, but I am going to cut all the way down to the cutting board. You can hear. And all the way down. I'm straddling it just because it makes it easier to hold. And now I turned it, and now I'm going to go across it like this. Now my margarine is getting warm already, which is great. So I'm just going to start dumping the ingredients into the pot. There we go. Just as I go along. So I can't make it all the way to the end, so I'm going to take that piece and put it in my elixir. Go across this. This is actually kind of a large onion, but I want to work quickly because onions, especially in the wintertime, make me cry. We don't want my mascara running down my face. There we go. Like I said, just go down as far as you can because we really are using all of the onion and dumping it in there. Now, I do hope y'all have some garlic. I know it's not in the recipe, but it's just too tempting to put a little bit in. I also like to put some in my stock. So if you don't have any, don't worry about it. A little garlic powder, it's fine too. Stir that up a bit. Woohoo! Onions down, check. Love it. Now we can do our celery. I love celery. So I believe it just says one stalk, and I've already washed it and cut off that bottom part, but I'm going to cut off a little bit more. Cut that top piece off. All these little bits and bulbs going into the garbage pot, the shrimp stock. I like calling it elixir. So we're just going to call it the elixir. Forgive me. All right, now I'm going to just cut this in half and then cut these in half again. Easiest way to do this is strips. Just cut it into, it's not really a julienne, but strips. Best way possible. Don't want to add too much celery because sometimes it can get bitter. Okay, and then I turn it. So I have a nice little pile here. Now, if that's too much for you, just make it smaller. Always make it work for you, whatever's comfortable. You know, bring the food on your cutting board closer to you, turn it, because I want you to be safe. And here we go. Beautiful dice of celery. Okay, I can hear this cooking. I'm liking that. I have a little friend over here. I know we're doing shrimp, but crawfish season is coming up soon. They've already got some down in New Orleans. I'm seeing the crawfish boils starting. I thought he might be good in it too. And if you don't eat shrimp, you could certainly substitute some tofu. We were thinking about this. I mean, this would certainly be great, with chicken as well. So celery, peppers, and onions. Any other protein? If you were going to use a fish, I would use one that holds up really well and doesn't fall apart. A monkfish would be really kind of cool, or grouper. Any of those nice, big, white, chunky, and put it in at the end like we're doing. Okay, I ordered green pepper, but it didn't arrive. So I happen to have one in the fridge, and I don't see any reason why I can't use this guy. He looks fine. So get your green pepper, pretend it's whole, and let's just cut off the skin and the flesh. Keep that little end. And I actually could put this in my elixir too. Why not? Let's go for it. I'm also going to be adding some jalapeno because I love jalapeno. But we want to get the celery, peppers, and onion, the holy trinity going first, right? So pouring all that in there. So I have some nice panels here. And like Katie said, I hope y'all got your rice cooking. So I have mine over here already done. I did cheat. And I'm using brown rice because I know it has a little bit more calories, but it also has more fiber. No sugar. So we like that. Okay. And no sodium. I love these packages of the pre-cooked stuff. So now I have some perfect little panels here, and I'm going to dice this up. I've taken out the spongy part here. I put that in my elixir, and it's always easier, just a little inside tip, to cut through the inside, the flesh, as opposed to cutting through the skin. You will find it much easier. So we're going to do the same thing. Slice this into nice little piles, turn it, and dice it. Now, for those of you that are out there cooking with me, just let us know in the chat if I'm going too quickly. Want me to slow down? Just keep dice. Dice at your own speed. I don't want y'all hurrying up for me. But what do we have? We have a lunch hour, right? So gotta hustle a little bit. I can't wait to talk about shrimp. I am a shrimp fanatic. Oh, it's already smelling really good in here. There we go.
Chef, we have a question. Contella is wondering what all is in the elixir.
Okay, I mentioned it earlier, but I'm happy to mention it again. The shrimp stock has onions. I have about maybe a quarter onion and the onion skin, and I put in the top of the celery I even put in the pepper, you know, the green pepper, stuff that I'm not using, the core, a bay leaf. I'm going to put in a garlic clove. Just smash it, throw it in. It has the skin from the tomato that I peeled because we were putting in a can of tomato. But again, I didn't have a full can in the freezer, so I added a fresh tomato. I mean, you don't have to use the canned tomatoes. If you want to use fresh, you can absolutely use fresh. Little celery seed, little cayenne pepper, and thyme. Thyme, I think, is a real essential ingredient in this recipe. And I love thyme. So I think, what do you think, Katie? Am I missing anything? Oh, and of course, the shrimp shells. If I had some shrimp heads, I would have put those in too, but that is a little bit hard to find up here unless you're close to an H Mart. And I am not close to an H Mart out here. Okay, so these are cooking. This is wonderful. Really you want this to kind of cook about maybe 3 minutes. It's fragrant. The onions become translucent, and you can see that's already happening here. Makes me very happy. And then I can add the rest of the ingredients. So let me start cutting up that jalapeno. Got a jalapeno here. Do the same thing that we did for the green pepper. Just kind of cut the skin off around the seeds. This I won't put in my elixir. Cut off that membraney thing. But jalapenos, be careful not to touch your eye. They do vary in heat quite a bit. Sometimes they just taste like a green pepper. So again, I'm cutting the little strips. Don't take your eye off of your pot, okay? Definitely want to stir it. You don't want it to stick. Cut this up. I have to look at my cheat sheet. Excuse me. I have the sniffles too. I don't know why. Okay. Oh, jalapeno. Aha, green onions. I know cheat sheets over here. All right. This guy's a little stringy, but that's fine. Start putting that in. Marvelous. I may even put the shells of the crawfish back in that elixir after I taste the head. I don't know if I'm going to do that on camera or not. All right, this is looking great. Now I've got that in there. Green onions, 1 or 2. What do we say? I'm going to go ahead and do 2 because why not? Yep, that goes in there too. Isn't it great? All my garbage goes in that pot. I love it. Cut them in half. I'm going to slice the white part down. You notice how I only cut off a little bit. I just cut off the roots. We use the whole thingy-mabiggy. See how I have my hands nice and curled under? Now, this is real time, y'all. We are cooking with gas in the kitchen. None of this Food Network stuff, and all this is already chopped up. All right, that's going in. There we go. Stir that up. Now I think we need a little bit of, black pepper. Hang on. Everything's migrated over there. Get your black pepper. Black pepper is so good for you too. It actually really helps with your digestion. And I always prefer to use freshly ground. It's cheaper this way too, you know. I could just refill this this bad boy. I don't know if I exactly put in an 1/8 of a teaspoon. It's good exercise too. All right, isn't that gorgeous? My husband got me that for Christmas. He's so pretty. All right, go there. Stir, stir, stir. All right, now I know I need to chop up some parsley, but I think at this point I'm going to go ahead and add my partial can of tomatoes. Please make sure, when you get your diced tomatoes that they're low sodium, if you can find that. And actually the low sodium really is very available everywhere these days, I've noticed. That's a good thing for us, right? There we go. Pretty, pretty, pretty. Ooh, baby. Love it. So hopefully there's enough liquid in the tomatoes to give this kind of a nice gravy. That's what we'll call it. Little groovy. All right. Echo. Have to taste it. All right, parsley. Gotta have some parsley. Actually, it tastes good. And I haven't even put any of the elixir in yet. Parsley, parsley, parsley. We love parsley. Come here, come to me. I'm going to use the Italian leaf parsley because frankly, I think it tastes better. And again, if you don't have any fresh, they do sell some wonderful alternatives in the market these days that are sort of partially dried, but if you can't find that, I think it's certainly worth the expense. What, parsley's $1, 20, 30? Not bad. I actually planted in my garden and I have, parsley stems in the elixir. Almost forgot. Oh dear, that would be tragic. And it just keeps coming back every year. I get volunteers, it goes to seed. So there's actually a little parsley out there right now. But I went ahead and bought some. Can't have too much parsley. Full of vitamins, which we love, dark green, all kinds of good stuff, right? It's good for your breath. It's great in salad. You'd be surprised. So don't let it go to waste. You could always, chop it up as well when you buy the fresh and put it in the freezer. There we go. Marvelous. Yeah, you don't want to use the stems because they're kind of woody. Okay. Marvelous, marvelous. So it's boiling nicely. I'm going to stir what are you doing? Stir up my groovy, my Creole groovy. Not Cajun, Creole. Yes, and Creole, Contella, I loved the little history that you gave. Really is, the original fusion, really the original American fusion cuisine, because yes, it has elements from Africa, the Caribbean, the Americas, and Europe. All right, you see how I do I've got a nice pile here and I scrunch it up into a little ball, my fresh parsley, and then start dicing it. And then I just kind of scooch back as I'm going. Remember, my fingertips are curled under. And just sort of reconfigure. And then I'm going to move them. This is the time I actually do change my grip a little bit, is when I have to mince something finely. I loosen it up. I relax my hand. And then I put depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed, the other hand at the end towards the tip, because I want to hold that tip down and keep it centered. And then I just start hacking up and down. Doesn't have to be too fine, and be careful when you do wipe wipe it off, okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and I want to save some. So put it in my little dish here, and I'm gonna go ahead and put some in right now because it's a woot. I didn't see that garlic go in there, did you? Speaking of mincing things up, I put it in the elixir. So I've got a garlic clove here. If you got one, go get it. Hurry, hurry. I'm gonna put it flat, and first I'm gonna cut off that little dried up nubby part. And put that parsley makes a mess. Oh my goodness, I got parsley everywhere. Go away. And now I'm gonna put my knife on top of it and take the palm of my hand and come down, and you're gonna hear it. This is how I take the skin off, and then the skin goes in here, and that goes in there. We don't want skin. Don't want the skin. Okay, again, just gonna dice this up. It doesn't have to be in a perfect mince. Somebody asked me the other day, why does it get sticky? I know. It's some chemical reaction to your hand. Something bizarre like that. But what I do know is that there's some amazing micronutrients in garlic, and that it is the bulb of life. So we want to use that. Anything that's good and the flavor. And how do I get that off my hand? The garlic smell, a little bit of lemon. Got some lemon here. Wonderful. All right, got my garlic, got my parsley. I think it might be time, drum roll, for some shrimp. Got me some shrimp. And, I always recommend that, if you can, get the Gulf shrimp, get it from your fishmonger. Make sure it's fresh. Like I said, we want the skin if you can. And heck, buy it frozen. Most of the time, the shrimp is already frozen on the boats, when they come in, unless you're living in the Carolinas, right next to, Bubba Gump. But it's, for us up here, frozen is fine. And usually what they have in the fishmonger has out, the shrimp that's thawed, comes from the 2-pound bag, in the freezer section of Gulf shrimp. So usually when that's on sale at the fishmonger, it's also, on sale, same shrimp in the bag in the freezer section. So grab it, keep it frozen, keep it in your freezer. It's also better to, get the bags where, the shrimp is not all frozen together in one big, huge lump. I don't know if you've seen like those 5-pound ones, but who needs 5 pounds anyway? But if you've got a big enough freezer, go for it. And I know the recipe said 8 ounces. This has another ingredient in that I didn't want to use. So you can use more than 8 ounces. I bet you probably are already. You can use maybe 14 ounces. So where's my shrimp? Where's my shrimp? All right. So here's the shrimp that I peeled yesterday. It's beautiful, but I got some more because I wanted to show you what I do. The peeling. So here's some beautiful shrimp. You really you don't want to see a lot of black spots, and it absolutely should not smell at all. I mean, it's going to smell a little bit, like the ocean, but it should not smell like sulfur. Rinse, there's these were from my fishmonger. These I got in Cambridge, where I get a lot of my seafood. So this looks really good. They're firm, they're not broken. Now we got to peel them, right? Now there's lots of ways to peel them. Some people had this little apparatus, but I don't like that because it rips it. I start at the legs, and I just sort of pull that around and yank that off. Do it again. Both sides. The tail is last. This is usually a job for somebody else. I have had to peel a lot of shrimp. And then I always like to test myself, see if I can get the meat out of the tail. Sometimes it works. There's actually a little teeny tiny bit of meat in there. Is it going to come off for me? Ah, I'll be darned. Look at that. Yep. Perfect. Okay, so then we all know what's coming, right? Do we like to devein our shrimp? People say that usually it is a good idea. And in order to do that, you know, because sometimes the digestive tract, yep, it's the poop line, can have some sand in it, and it just is not going to be that tasty. So I'm just cutting the back, and I'm going to open it up, and you'll see, well, this is a perfect example of what we want to remove. Okay, there it is. Should come right out. Usually I do this in the sink. There we go. Bye-bye. Sometimes I wish I hadn't learned about that, but I know now. So now we have a beautiful deveined shrimp. That's fabulous. Maybe I'll do another one just for posterity. And get those legs off. So it's going to be interesting. So my shrimp actually have been sitting in the lime juice for a little while, right? Yeah, because I've been talking a while. All right, here we go again. Will she or won't she get that? Must be the food stylist in me. Yes. Ah, nah. All right. Ooh. It's boiling. Stir it up. Stir it up. It's looking lovely. And my elixir is also boiling in the back. I can smell it. I can smell it. I want to crank this up. I want some of the liquid to come to boil off. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. Back to this. Focus. Okay. I'm going to cut it again just so y'all can see. Along the back. And go. Usually I do this in the sink. Underwater. There we go. Pull this bad boy out. Voila. Eek. Beautiful. And see it. Then I would rinse them. It's all good. Yum, yum, yum. Beautiful. So I don't have time to peel all of these for y'all, but I did want you to see. I gotta wash my hands because I'm all shrimpy now. And while I do that, okay, stir, stir, stir. So here is where we could actually put in your white wine if you want to. It's a good time. Make sure your rice is warm. So I've got mine in a pot back here in a colander, just the way my mom used to do it. She used to actually put a tea towel over it and steam it until we were ready to eat. Of course, she was using white rice and I have brown rice. All right, so now I'm actually going to put in a little bit of my elixir, like I said, instead of the white wine. So get a strainer if you're using your shrimp stock. Even if it's only cooked for like 10 minutes, it's still going to add some amazing flavor. So I just added about 2 tablespoons. Keep stirring. You want to make sure it doesn't stick on the bottom. And now I'm just going to plop in my shrimp. Am I missing anything, Katie? Yum, yum, yum. But
Ooh,
not the liquid, okay?
It's looking good, chef. You're on track.
Hallelujah. Like I said, I know I go on automatic pilot sometimes, but sometimes I forget key ingredients like the shrimp. If you're using chicken, go ahead and put it in. I hope you diced it up. Now, shrimp cook a lot faster than you think, folks. Seriously. This was about a 21 count. Let me cover that up, just get it steaming. Okay, I can turn down that elixir in the back. You know when they're done pretty much because, they change color and they get bright pink and they also curl a little bit. So that's cooking. And I just wanted to remind everybody, thank you again for being here. And we do have, if you're feeling in the mood, a text to give initiative, which is super easy. All you have to do is text 41444. Maybe Katie could keep up with me and put that in the chat. And then you write in Be More Kitchen. That's just the Be More Kitchen. So we really appreciate, $1, $5, however much, you can. So we can keep bringing you these amazing cooking classes. All right, look at that. It is looking amazing. Now, just because I'm used to this, see, I'm going to throw in a lemon because my mother would do that. Okay. I want a little bit of that citrus. So just a little bit of lemon, maybe another one, maybe a little bit more. No seeds. Okay. We don't want seeds. It's almost ready, y'all. So I hope, and you can see how gorgeous these shrimp are. Really beautiful. You can totally use the small ones. I think I saw a 12-ounce bag for sale at a grocery store out here, which actually I think it was Aldi. And I know y'all have one near there. It was like $7. So I should have stocked up on that. Oh, this is looking really beautiful. Okay, stop playing with your food. The more I stir it up, I'm bringing the temperature down, which I think I can. I think I'm going to add a little bit more elixir, but you can see how it's thickened up a little bit. Traditionally, actually, the shrimp Creole starts with a roux. So, but I stopped doing the roux. It doesn't, it's nice, but we don't need that fat and didn't need the flour. So you can totally make it, and it's still shrimp Creole without the roux. For y'all who don't know what the roux is, it's Cajun napalm. It's when the oil is cooked with the flour and you make this paste and you try to get it brown, and it gives things a sort of a nutty, smoky flavor, but you can't burn it. That's a big no-no because then you got to start over. It takes a while. You got to stir and stir, but we don't need that. These shrimp are looking like they're almost done. Almost done. So my little friend here, let's see what he looks like. Smells good. Tastes good. He's going in there too. I think maybe I'll put one crawfish in just for posterity. Oh, spicy. Beautiful. Little crawfish there. Sometimes you can find these frozen. These were frozen. There we go. More shell, more flavor, right? Yeah, you don't eat the legs on the crawfish. Okay, I can turn this guy down. We are done. Simmer. Look how beautiful that sauce is. Now, I know we didn't add any salt, right? Which is great. Because, your hot sauces have salt in them as well. So be real careful when you start putting on the condiments, because they're all, a lot of them have a lot, some have more than others. Tabasco doesn't have a ton. Look at got my little baby Tabasco. Now, what bowl am I going to put it in? Yes, traditionally it goes in a bowl. So I couldn't decide. I've got so many bowls, what it was going to look prettiest in. I couldn't resist this purple plate. I mean, really, it's Mardi Gras. Oh my goodness. I am ready. You could almost serve it on here. Actually, I think I might just do that. Why not? Gonna get me a little bit of rice. Now, don't ever mix the rice in, okay? The rice has to be separate. That's, you know, that's the law. This is not jambalaya. This is shrimp Creole. All right, a little bit of rice, you know, half a cup, I think is usually the, you know, sometimes I have it without the rice. Don't always want to have the rice. It could be all fancy. Just like that. This looks like a very nice portion size. There we go. Shrimp Creole. Some shrimp Creole, y'all. Look at that. Okay, these, I may be getting a little carried away here. I want some of that juice. And beautiful. I'm going to turn this off because she is cooked. Juice all the way around. Love it. Remember, squirt of lemon. Ooh. No seeds, please. Thank you so much. And I have to have a little bit more parsley. Now we and you are in for a treat. So we are kicking off our Mardi Gras celebrations with a bang, right? I am just delighted that you joined me today. Thank you. It's been a lot of fun. And now I think we all need to eat. We have 10 minutes to eat before we get back to work, but don't rush. Again, maybe sprinkle a little, taste it first before you add any hot sauce on it, okay? And I can't resist. I just have to, I'm gonna taste it right out of the pot because I want to take a picture of this. Blow on it. Delicious. Doesn't need any white wine. It is so yummy. Don't forget, I can strain the strain that, chuck it, the you know, the skins, and put it in the freezer. So it's good for 6 months to a year. Okay. And you can even put it in smaller containers, the shrimp stock, and label it so you don't forget. But it's, of all the stocks, it's the easiest one to tell that it's shrimp stock. Just open it up and smell it. Again, thank you all. We love that you were here today with us. Thank you, ladies and Care First. And it's been a real honor. I love you guys. And I can't wait to see you again in the Heart Kitchen. Remember, every Thursday, today was special. Our noon production normally is at 6 p.m. So, mwah, hearts. Bye-bye, everybody. I hope you have a really wonderful day and stay safe. Namaste. See you again real soon.